Good afternoon, all of you. Welcome back to our next class. Myself, Dr. Manish Chaudhary from PhD University. Today we will study our PhD coursework exam, paper number 4, quantitative methods. Okay. Basic and introduction part we will already study in our previous class. Today we will go into the topic. Okay. First of all, we will start the topic from quantitative research. We will already study in previous year what are the quantitative research and what are the qualitative research. In that quantitative research, there are many definitions. Few of them we will study. First of all, we can say that it is the opposite of qualitative research, which involves collecting and analyzing non-numerical data. Non-numerical data, which means we can say it is in form of text, it is in form of video, or it is in form of audio. Okay. Second one, that is a simple first definition. We can say in other words, quantitative research is widely used in natural and social sciences, with biology, chemistry, psychology, economics, sociology, etc. On the other hand, we can also say that quantitative research is the process of collecting and analyzing numerical data. It can be used to find pattern and average, make predictions, text-textual relationship, and generalize results to wider populations. Okay. Now we will talk about what are the quantitative research methods. Basically, there are three types, which are, we can say, quantitative research method. First one is known as descriptive research. Second one known as correlative correlation research. And third one is known as experimental and research. Experimental research. Basically, we will use these three types of methods. And first one, which is known as descriptive research, in it you can simplify, see an overall summary of your study variable. On another way, we can say a descriptive research design can used widely variety of research methods to investigate one or more variables. Unlike in experimental research, the research does not control or manipulate any of the variable, but only observe and measure them. What I have said, I am just repeating in simplest form, that in descriptive research, we can't manipulate the research work. We only observe and measure them. On the second one, it is known as correlational research. In it, you can investigate relationship between your study variables. We can also say correlative reflects the strength or direction of the relationship between two variables. The direction of correlation can be either positive or negative. Third one is experimental research. Okay. In this research, you systematically examine whether there is a cause and effect relationship between variables. Correlation research and experimental research can both be used to formally test hypotheses or predictions using statistics. The results may be generalized to broader population based on the sample method used. Now we will move on the next topic, which is called arranging data to convert meaning. Okay. In it, we will study the topics under data handling. It will basically divided by maybe we can say it will be 6 types of variety. First one, which is known as pictograph. Pictograph. We can simply say that pictograph is in this method we can use a photographs. Okay, but in detail we can say a pictograph is a representation of data using images. Pictograph represent the frequency of data while using symbol or images that are relevant to the data. There is one of the simplest way to represent statistical data, and reading a pictograph is made extremely easy as well. Now, second one, which is called bar graph. From its name, it is easily identified that in this method we can use a various graph. So we can say in maths we deal with a lot of numbers, for example equations, fractions and so on. But looking at number all the time can get very confusing and tiresome. For this reason, sometimes we take the help of bar graph, tables and charts etc. to make sense all of these numbers. And when we are doing our research work, concluding on our research work in bar graph, tables and chart, it looks very easier to understand. Third one, which is known as histogram and pie chart. Histogram and pie chart. Okay. In this, if you look around you, you will notice many visual interpretations of data, be in graph, tables, charts, lines, etc. They communicate the information clearly and at one's glance. Here we will be learning about two such widely used visual representations, namely histogram and pie chart. Fourth one is known as chance and probability. Chance and probability. Do you ever learn anything to change? Like perhaps leave out a chapter from your revision because you think that chapter will be not come in our exam section. So what you will do? You have to leave this portion in a revision part. This terms change and probably can actually be expression in mathematical terms. Further, two more types is there. Fifth one is on arithmetic mean. Sixth one is known as median and mode. For these two things we will study further in our class. So if we are talking about the topics under data handling, we can divide in it with 6 various parts. In 6 various parts we can collect our all data and represent it in our research work. Next one, we will talk about the measurements of central tendency and depression. That is our next topic in our syllabus. We will first first of all, we will talk about the central values. That what are the central values? We can say many times one number is used to describe the entire sample or population. Such a number is called an average. There are many ways to compute an average. These are some measurements of central tendency and represents. One of them is known as mean. And from this word, you all are well aware, because in that mean, medium and mode we will already study in our previous classes, in our earlier classes, max part. So that will be same of our previous class. So we will not discuss in detail, we will just discuss in a brief. What is the mean? Mean means it is the average of all values. It is the average of all values given in a set of data. That is called a mean. Second one, of course, you are aware, that is known as mode. That is known as mode. So we can say the mode is the number that appear most frequently in a set of data. We can find the mode by counting the number of time each values occur in the data set. Third one, anyone guess? Correct. That is known as median. Very good. Very good. Keep it up. बहुत अच्छा किया बेटा. इसी तरह से पढ़ाई करता रहा. Now we can say median. Median is the most middle value in a set of data. Let's n denote the number of observation in a data set. If n is odd, then the median equal to the n plus 1 by half observation. Suppose if the value of n is even, then the median is given by a mean of either n by 2 observation and n by 2 plus 1 observation. Remember it. This one, remember it. If the medium is in odd form or is in even form, these two formulas we will be taken and we will be carried out for the data study. Next one is known as mean division. Mean division. In that mean division, it is a mean of absolute value of numerical differences between the number of the set and their mean or median. Fifth one, we can say standard deviation. In standard deviation, it computes the depression of data set relative to its mean. Next one, range. Range. It gives a measure of the spread of the data values of a corresponding random variable. Last but not least, it is known as quartile deviations. quartile divisions. It is half of difference between the first quartile and the third quartile in a frequency distributions. Now we will go through the formulas. What are the formulas? Of the 7 methods. First one is known as mean. Okay. For mean, it is divided by a number of observation upon total number of observation. For a group data, mean is for a group data. Mean is also noted as N. These are the basic formulas we will take in our research part, in our mathematical part for the definition of the mean. Second one, it is known as median. Okay, median. And if we will study work on a ungrouped data, if we are working on ungrouped data, then the median is denoted by if and is odd and second odd and by 2 plus 1 if and is even. That is for ungrouped, and for group data we can use simply median is L plus n by 2 plus C upon H. These are the basics formula for the determination of median. We can, if median is in ungrouped data, then we will use these two kinds of methods. Remember, we already studied in our in this class, where if n is in odd form, then we will use this kind. If n is in even form, we can use this method. Okay. Next one, if that medium we will define in a group data, then we will use that kind of formula for the determination of median. Third one is known as mode. In this mode form, we can say to find the mode, average the given data in an ascending order. Then count how many times each number is occurring. The number that occurs most is the mode. For example, if we are talking about the we can say estimating mode from a group data. From group data, finding the group with the highest frequency, then estimated mode is L plus Fm minus Fn minus 1 divided by Fm minus Fm minus 1 plus Fm minus plus 1 into W. That is the basic formula for the estimated mode for group data. In it, we can say that L is denoted the lowest class boundary of a model group. Fm minus 1 is denoted the frequency of a group between the model group. Fn denote the frequency of the model group. Fm plus 1 denote the frequency of the group after the model group. And last, that is W. It denotes the group width. Next one, fourth one, we can say is a standard deviation. We can say standard deviation. For the determination of standard deviation, we can simply use this formula, which is known as root square of xi minus x bar square. That is the basic formula for the standard deviation. Of course, we will apply these formulas in our further classes when we are working on an application part. We can use various examples for doing these types of calculations. But we will do it in another class, not today. Okay? So don't be panic. Let's say that suppose sir you just put out the formula and doesn't explain how we can work on it. We will work on that formulas in our further classes when their application part will be applied. Next one, which is known as fifth one, which is known as mean deviation. That mean deviation will also denoted or also carried out by that is for for mean deviation, these two kinds of method will be used. For ungrouped data, we will use that formula, and for the group data, if we have a group data, then we will use this kind of formulas in our equation in our research part. Sixth one is called range. Range is denoted by L minus NS. Range is denoted by L minus S. Last one, that is known as, in it, L is the maximum value attained by a random variable under considerable. is the minimum value. S is the minimum value and L is the maximum value. Last one is known as quartile deviations. Quartile deviations. It is, we can denote formed by Q is equals to Q3 minus Q1 upon Z. These are the basic formulas which we will use in our research methodology. We will carry, obviously we will use it for some various methods also, but these are the basic methods which we will use in our quantitative methods. Okay, now we will move on about our next topic, which is, now we will study between correlation analysis and regression analysis. That is our next topic, which is correlation and regression analysis. Okay. First, we will talk about the correlation analysis. Correlation analysis is applied in quantifying the association between two continuously variables. For example, an independent variable of among two independent variables. We can say the sample of correlation coefficient is estimate the correlation analysis. It ranges between -1 and +1, denoted by R, and quantifying the strength and direction of the linear association among two variables. The correlations among two variables can be either positive or either negative. If that value is positive, then it is an example, a higher level of one variable is related to the higher level of another. If its variable is in negative form, in negative situation, which means the higher level of one variable is related to the lower level of the others. Okay, next thing. The sign of the coefficient of coherence shows that the direction of the association. The magnitude of the coefficient shows the strength of the associations. For example, suppose if a correlation value is 0.8, indicate a positive and strong. Indicate a positive and strong association among two variables, while a correlations of R is equals to -0.3 shows the negative and weak associations. A correlation nearby 0 shows the non-existence of linear association among two continuously variables. Okay. For the detailed study, for the easiest way to explain it, we can compare between differences. ठीक है, आप ये नोट डाउन करो कंटिन्यूअसली. We can now work on a differences. also say the comparison, or we can also say the comparison between correlation analysis and regressiveness analysis. For that, we can use some basic things. First one, basic point. Okay. First one is meaning. For meaning, correlation and analysis is a statistical measurement that define correlationship or association of two variables. For that, regression describes how an independent variable is associated with a dependent variable. Next one, dependent and independent variables. For that, correlative analysis doesn't have any difference, which means you can say no differences. No difference. But for the regressiveness analysis, it will be both variable, both variables are different. Next one, if we are talking about the uses, in the favor of uses. For that uses, we can say to describe a linear relationship between two variables. In a correlation analysis, we can say to describe a linear relationship between two variables, and for regressiveness analysis, we can say to fit the best line and estimate one variant based on another variant. Next one is objective. Next one is objectives. For the objectives point of view, correlation analysis in it to find out value expression, the relationship between variable, and in regressiveness analysis to estimate value of a random variable based on the value of a fixed variable. You note your own personal notes for the exam purpose. Okay. Next topic, we will start talking about what is association of attributes. What is association of attributes? We can say that the associations of the attributes refer to the relationship between two or more attributes in a data set. It is a statistical technique used to analyze the relationship between variables to attributes. In other words, it is the process of identifying the interdependence between different attributes. There are 7 types of association of attributes, which are, first one is known as positive association. Second one is negative association. Third one is independence. Fourth one is known as complete association and disassociation. Fifth one is known as total and partial association. Sixth one is known as illusory association. Last one is known as chance association. Chance association. These are basically 7 types of association of attributes. Okay, in which first one, that is called positive associations. Listen up very carefully because further example are very interesting for you. For the positive association, when two attributes increase or decrease together. When two attributes are, whether they are increased or whether they are increased, both are doing this thing at same time, it is known as positive associations. For example, in a summer, we can see that if the temperature will be increased, which means this summer will be hotter, the day will be hotter. If the temperature increase, the sales of ice cream will also increase. So there are two attributes. One is known as the temperature, and second one is known as the sales of ice cream. Both are correlated with each other. So that is an example of positive associations. Clear? Okay, very good. Next one, we will be talking about the negative association. Negative association, which means when two attributes move in opposite directions. It is known as negative association. For example, if the price of a product will suddenly raise in market, then what will happen? Right, their purchasing or their demand will be decreased. So there are two types of attributes are there. First one is price raise or second one is demand decreased. These are the examples of in this piece. Okay. In this case, the price and demand of the product have a negative association. Third one is known as independence. It is absence of association means independence. Absence of association, which means it is a independence. When two attributes do not have the tendency to be present together, then they are called independence. Next one is complete association and disassociation. For finding out the association of two attributes as complete, two courses are open to us. Either we may say that for complete association, all A's must be B's and all B's must be A's. Example, they both should be appear in equal number. That is a part of complete association and complete distribution. Next one is total and partially association. In it, the association between two attributes in the whole universe is called total association. Partially association is also known as association of sub-universe. Next one is illusory association. In it, the association which does not correspond to any real relationship between any two attributes is known as illusory association. Last one is called chance association. It must be remembered that association is not stabilized by the fact that the observed value of AB is greater than or less than the expected value of AB. But it may also arise due to sampling fluctuation and may not be significant. Last one is we will talking about it is
दो पैक ज़्यादा.
Okay, now we are talking about the techniques which are used for analyzing association of attributes. Techniques. What are the techniques we will use for the analysis of association of attributes? We will use various three types of techniques. First one is known as scatter plot. First one is known as scatter plot. In it, a scatter plot is used to display the relationship between two variables or attributes. It is graphically represented of data points where each point represents the value of two variables. A scatter plot can help in identify the association between variables. Second one is called correlation analysis. Second one is known as correlation analysis technique. In it, correlation analysis is used to measure the strength and direction of the relationship between two variables. It measures the degree of linear association between two variables. The correlation coefficients range from -1 to +1. If the correlation is close to +1, it indicates a strong positive association. And if it close to -1, it indicates the strong negative correlations. Third one is known as chi-square test. Third one is known as chi-square test. The chi-square test is used to test the independence of two category variables. It is used to determine the association between two variables. Now we will talk about the benefits. Benefits of analyzing association of attributes. There are few benefits for them. We will talk about 3 or 4. Number 1, it helps in identifying the relationship between different attributes. Okay. Second benefit is it helps in making predictions and forecast. Third one, it helps in decision making. And fourth one is it helps in identifying the factor that affects a particular attributions. So for today it is enough for today. We will meet in our next chapter. So till then, be healthy and have a good day. Goodbye and thank you.